Welcome to Press Start to Join, a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network powered by ETB. This is episode 229, and I'm Alan.
I'm Josh. I talk about how I restructured our Patreon, and I introduce a new game to the end of the episodes instead of my weekly recommendation.
We have a whole schwack of news about how Bethesda merch is really living up to those Fallout standards they've established for themselves.
It seems like I already stumped Alan with the first question on my bad descriptions of things.
And I have a fitness recommendation that I've been enjoying quite a bit. Welcome everybody to 2019!
Yeah, we made it.
Woo! That's it. Yeah, we made it. Okay, moving on. First up, it is a new month, so as always, we got free games of the month coming at you.
Oh yeah?
Over on the Xbox One, we have Celeste. It's actually a title from, I don't know, last year, so it's kind of old. 2018.
I need that.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Platform adventure game where you have to jump, climb, and dash through each area to climb up a mountain and collect strawberries. It looks very cool.
Since it's an indie game, I'd prefer it on Switch, but I'll take it for free anywhere.
Yeah. Beggars, choosers, all that stuff. Also on the Xbox One, there is, this is a bit of a mouthful, WRC6 FIA World Rally Championship.
Oh.
That's from 2016. It's a rally racing game with everything from fog and mud to tire punctures and engine breakdowns. So
sounds about right.
Neat. Yeah. And lastly, there is Never Alone from 2014. It's a puzzle platform adventure game based on the traditional Native Alaskan tale Kunuksayuka.
Ooh, I think I already downloaded that.
Cool. It's where you swap between a girl and her Arctic fox companion to solve puzzles. On the 360 side of things, we have Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light from 2010. It's a little bit of a departure from the usual Tomb Raider series. It's a non-linear, arcade-inspired action game in a fixed isometric perspective, where you can control either Lara Croft or the ancient Mayan tribesman Totec. You can do co-op on there too.
Yeah, that is quite different.
And on the 360 is Far Cry 2 from 2008. It's an open-world first-person shooter where you explore a modern-day Central African nation during a civil war as a mercenary looking to assassinate an arms dealer known as the Jackal.
Oh wow, I never actually played those.
Yeah, Far Cry, it's a series that a lot of people like and I've never really touched. But, I don't know. Just never really captured me, I guess. On the Sony side of the fence, on the PS4, we have Steep from 2016. It's an open-world extreme sports game where you put on your skis, snowboard, wingsuit, or paraglider and just do some crazy stunts. And we also have Portal Knights from 2016. It's an indie RPG in a multiplayer sandbox where you can explore and build, craft items, and go adventuring. On the PS3 side, we have Zone of the Enders HD Collection. It's the 2012 re-release of the 2001 title. This is a mech fighting anime-inspired shoot-'em-up from Hideo Kojima. It includes both Zone of the Enders and its sequel, The Second Runner. And Amplitude. It's the 2016 remake of the 2003 title. It's a cult classic rhythm shooter from Harmonix, where instead of playing a guitar or drums, you pilot a ship along all the different tracks of each song. So you actually have to switch between the different parts, like vocals, rhythm, melody, all that stuff. And on the Vita side of things, Fallen Legion Flames of Rebellion from 2017. It's billed as an intense action RPG where you have to reclaim an empire in a ravished continent awash with tough choices. And Super Mutant Alien Assault from 2015. It's an arcade-style platformer following 3 fleets of ships fleeing a doomed Earth in a randomly generated levels.
How can you call them mutants if they're already alien? Could that just be how they are?
It could very well be. It's definitely some xenophobia going on here.
Yeah.
On the Twitch side of things, we have Hyperlight Drifter from 2016.
What?
This is a... Sorry?
Oh my god, I need that.
It's a 2D action RPG fashioned after A Link to the Past, where you play as the Drifter, a character with access to tech long forgotten by the world and suffering from an unspecified illness.
Yeah, we talked about that a while ago on our indie episode.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Good times. Also from Twitch is Orwell from 2016. It's a series of episodic simulation games where you play a state operative monitoring surveillance sources to find national security threats. And Republique from 2016. It's an episodic action-adventure stealth game where you hack surveillance systems to help the main character, Hope, escape a dystopian totalitarian state. And Bomber Crew from 2017. It's a strategic simulation game where you manage a bomber plane and its crew flying high-stakes missions. And also permadeath thrown in there for the crew, so, I mean, don't get too attached, or if you do, do good. And then they were also offering the Devolver Digital Holiday Pack, which is a whole bunch of games. We've got Broforce, where you deliver shock, awe, and freedom with dozens of playable characters. Hotline Miami, an action game overflowing with brutality, gunplay, and crushing close combat. Hotline Miami 2, Wrong Number, the conclusion to the Hotline Miami saga, filled with escalating violence and retribution. We've got The Messenger, a Metroidvania following a young ninja venturing through a cursed world to deliver a scroll.
I highly, highly recommend it. It's so good.
Yeah. Like, I can't believe all of this is free. Like, all month. If you have Twitch Prime, you can just get it and play it anytime. We also have Strafe, which is a super gory first-person shooter that changes every time you play it. Crossing Souls, which is an action-adventure game set in a California suburb in the midst of a strange supernatural event. And The Swords of Ditto, which is a roguelite action RPG where you play a randomly generated hero tasked with saving the world in 3 days.
Oh.
And joining the Free Games of the Month Club is the Epic Games Store.
Oh.
To celebrate its new opening, they'll be giving away a new game every 2 weeks this year. We missed Subnautica because we were off during the month of December, so sorry about that. But until January 10th, you can pick up Super Meat Boy from 2010 for free. It's a fantastic platformer, characterized by really tight controls and quick timing.
Oh yeah.
Really cool. And so on to the news. First up, a new year means a new list of the top 50 worst passwords of the year. It's pretty great. And also, I've got some bad news, Josh. Number 49 is Joshua.
Oh, wow.
You are officially a worst password. Sorry about that.
I'm not surprised.
We've got some classics like number 43, Let Me In. Some new ones like number 39, Harley. I'm assuming for Harley Quinn?
Yes, and or motorcycle?
Mm-hmm. We've got a new twist on the QWERTY formula. Number 26 is ZXCVBNM, which is just the bottom row of your keyboard. Number 14 is the Double Devil, 666666.
Oh, wow.
Down from number 4 last year to number 9 this year is QWERTY, the old classic. And for the 5th consecutive year, we have exactly what it says on the tin at number 2, password.
All lowercase.
Oh yeah. And continuing its reign as the number 1 worst password, 123456.
So password's number 2 and 1 through 6 is 2?
Is number 1.
Oh, it's number 1. Oh, wow.
Yeah. For 5 years in a row, those are the 2 worst passwords that are still in use. Why are you still using them? Who uses Let Me In for a password? Never mind 123456. It's a terrible idea.
I never thought someone would use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because it's just an obscure Spaceballs reference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Amazing. That's the same password on my luggage.
I mean, that one's on the list too. We've got 1 through 5, 1 through 6, 1 through 7, 1 through 8, 1 through 9, all in varying positions on the list. It's like, just stop. Don't mix up 2 of the digits and bam, you've got a better password. Not a lot better, but still.
Even backwards.
Yeah, that wasn't on the list at all. And, oh man, this story was developing all through December, so it's a biggin'. Bethesda is just continually shooting themselves in the foot over Fallout 76. And this isn't even about the game. This is about the merchandise.
Oh.
Not even talking about the glitchy bug fest that just won't let me love it. That is Fallout 76.
Yeah, it is funny when we play with our group. It's like, oh, I'm crashing. Just let me love you, as they're like restarting the game.
Yep. So, first, there was the Power Armor edition of the game that comes with functional power armor helmet, which is pretty cool, and a bag to carry it that is supposed to be like durable canvas, kind of like a military-style bag. But when people got it, it was really cheap, really flimsy, thin, terrible nylon. Just not good. And even after shipping, after people were receiving this, the product listing still showed the original canvas bag, and it said canvas specifically, and it looked like a nice bag.
Yeah.
Eventually, the listing was updated to say nylon, but the picture still shows the canvas one.
Yeah.
And there's a marked visual difference. Like it's really terrible and shiny and all like crease and ugh. So the initial response from Bethesda support was, oh boy, it was, quote, "We are sorry that you aren't happy with the bag. The bag shown in the media was a prototype and was too expensive to make." Which is really not a good thing to say. Because you're like, well, we said we were going to make this thing, but it cost money, so we didn't.
Yeah.
That's not a good Bethesda.
Because if it was a prototype they weren't sure on, that's why in your promotional material you put subject to change and then don't print it on the box.
Exactly. But eventually they came back and said, oh, that's not our actual official position. Everyone who has proof of purchase that they bought that edition of the game, contact support and you get 500 atoms, which is their in-game currency. It's about $5.
Yeah.
So that's cool for this hundreds of dollars thing. But then a week later, they did it. They announced plans to make it right, manufacture proper canvas replacement bags. So, if you did buy the Power Armor Edition, you have until January 31st to submit a ticket. The link will be in the description over at ps2jshow.com. Mm-hmm. And you'll get a replacement when they're ready. So that's something. It's not done, though, because there's more.
Oh.
A bunch of users, after submitting tickets to get that canvas replacement, were shown all of the other users' replacement tickets, including a bunch of addresses, emails, partial credit card info, just all that basic stuff. I guess the problem was fixed in about 45 minutes, but Bethesda released a statement confirming that 65 tickets containing personal information were exposed to question mark amount of people in that amount of time. Apparently they're contacting the customers that were affected, but I have no idea how Bethesda could possibly make this right. You've published names and addresses and partial credit card information and phone numbers. Accidentally, yes. For a short time, yes. But it was out there.
Yeah.
And that's not something you can just recall and tell people to forget. And then to cap it all off, there was the Nuka Dark Rum. And that brought us a whole new fiasco.
Oh, I missed this, I guess.
Yeah, so the idea here was that it was going to be a dark rum in the iconic Nuka-Cola rocket bottle. So that sounds really cool.
Yes.
Maybe even worth the $80 they're charging for a bottle of rum. Well, after they started shipping, afterwards, a note appeared at the tail end of the website talking about, quote, the story of the intentional and complex design of the Nuka Dark Rum product. Which, anytime you have to tell people something was intentional, that inspires confidence. It's like, yes, this is the story of how we did this on purpose. Don't worry, we meant to do that.
Huh. Because, yeah, I remember Nuka Dark. I thought it was going to be more like beer, but rum makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. So the message goes on to say how no corners were cut and, quote, it cost over 2 times what it would have if we had simply cast a glass mold.
Oh?
Now, why they want to spend double instead of just giving us a glass rocket bottle, I don't know. But apparently they decided that a glass bottle alone wouldn't be dramatic enough. Their words. Even though I think a glass rocket bottle would be really cool. Which brings us to my favorite line of this message. Over 100 hours were spent just writing the code to create the 3D printed prototype of the shells.
What?
Now, if you have any idea what 3D printing is or does, you know that this sentence makes no sense. You don't write code to do a 3D print. And why would you spend over 100 hours? Like the model for the Nuka-Cola bottle exists, so theoretically you could just feed that into a 3D printer and make a thing. Although generally they're going to be plastic and cheap and not a glass nice rocket bottle, which is exactly what people ended up with. They 3D printed a giant novelty plastic shell for just a normal bottle.
Oh.
So it's a glass bottle in a 13-inch tall, 6-inch wide plastic rocket bottle shell. Now, I will give them this. It's not just packaging. It's supposed to be like that is the container. So, like with the cap, instead of it just being a screw top or part of the plastic or something, it's an integrated cork. So you pull the cap off, and theoretically, you can pour straight out of the glass through the plastic into your cup. Unfortunately, with these extra layers in play, it kind of spills everywhere.
Oh.
So your $80 plastic rum bottle shell can't even pour a shot properly.
But it was intentional with over 100 hours of coding.
Oh, exactly. It's intentional and complex, don't forget. Because they could have shaved off half the cost and just given us all the glass bottles we wanted. But no. No, they said. 3D printed plastic novelty shells for everyone. So the bottling company, I think it's like Silver Screen Brewing or Silver Screen Bottling. I forgot to make a note of that. They have said that anyone who bought one of these bottles and is disappointed can contact them and they will try to make it right. Which, like, if you're just gonna, if you're gonna have to roll so many things back with the merchandising, maybe take a good look at what you're doing and do something else.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, and like I said, like a glass rocket bottle filled with rum could have been cool. Could have been a really neat feature in someone's wet bar. But instead, just this plastic thing with a glass bottle inside it. Like, it boggles the mind. I can't imagine who would have thought that was a better idea. But it was intentional, so.
Today we'd like to thank the support of Let's Do Coffee, hosted by Daniel Van Veen and produced by the Modgy Center for New Venture and Student Entrepreneurship at NAIT. Each episode features an interview with a student entrepreneur or NAIT alumnus. They dive into topics that explore their challenges, questions, and fears involved in operating their companies. New episodes come out every 2 weeks. You can find the show at nate.ca/Modgy Center. That's nate.ca/MAWJI Center. So big thanks to Dalton and Karen for sticking in with Patreon, and for anyone else interested, I have totally restructured it as being I've gotten rid of everything that was there that was nonsense. So it's just a default support tier.
That's all right then.
As we get more people with interest in supporting us, we'll, I guess, talk to the fans and see what they want.
Fair enough.
Once the demand's there, we'll make stuff to fill it. But right now, as Patreon goes, I have a new thing for the end of the episodes that I'm going to do. And it's sort of like a fun little game. And our Patreon supporters get a hint at it.
Ooh.
And as well as it typed out again. Because I don't know. Yeah, we'll probably share it to Twitter and stuff. Just on its own. To get people talking about it. And then next episode, when we're at the end, I will restate it and then state the new one.
Cool.
Well, restate it, answer it, put out a new one. And it's horrible descriptions of movies and games. I have a whole bunch here, but I'm not going to stop writing them until I get to 52. Because we're doing these once every news episode, everybody.
Good times.
And some of these genuinely made me laugh, but as I seem to do, I have kept it a secret from Alan. So the one I really wanted him to hear is... over 12... It's 12 weeks away.
Oh, damn it. Teasing me?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it right now. It's like the one I really want him to hear is...
Yeah, later. It's the one I'm really proud of. Because, like, I was watching My Little Pony and it came to me and I'm like, that is so smart.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to it.
Yeah, other than that, we'd love to start giving more shout-outs from Patreon supporters. Definitely said Dalton and Karen have been sticking in for the longest.
Oh, definitely.
And then as it comes to social media, especially during our hiatus, Dalton, Beampuff, and Scott from I Have Some Notes have been keeping up and chatting with us, and that's always fun. So thanks a lot, everybody. Other than that, I have a big thing in store for everybody for PS2J 250 that Patreon supporters can see on our Discord. And it's going to be pretty cool. And I'm thinking about making a really big version that it'll be available to everyone, but the Discord and Patreon people will see it first.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
And then I was thinking about doing my own comedy podcast where I do a lot of mistakes and just try to make stuff and be creative with every single one. Who knows how that'll turn out?
Acting!
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I've already actually recorded a bunch of dumb stuff because in the spirit of like whichever skit comedy would do like fake commercials. I've done a few fake commercials.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I just want to be more creative and less couch potato-y. Because there's going to be a few movies, of course, I'm going to have to sit and watch, but I don't want to just be binging stuff on Netflix and playing on my phone. My soul feels bad after that.
Fair enough. That's a good goal to have for 2019.
Yeah. Like, there is the odd Sunday where sometimes it's just good to do nothing. Like, now I have a retro game room, which has a 360 as the newest console that I've been playing Guitar Hero on. And I've been playing Sega games back again, and wow. They still kind of hold up.
Yeah, there's a reason that those classic consoles are such a hit.
Yeah. And I finally got a Smash friend code, so as soon as I figure out how Switch Online really works, I'll probably share that on our Twitter.
Nice.
Play Smash Bros. With people. Announce it on our Discord, let people know. And I have school January, February, ending in March. So March, I'm going to start looking at how I can stream The Witcher, because I got it for Christmas from my sister and my brother-in-law Cole.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. Probably Mondays. Mondays are a nice slow day. Yeah, it helps because I got a lot of creative things I want to do, and if it's for the podcast, Alan's really good at keeping me on a schedule somewhat and reining me in.
Well, it's more like I live by my calendar because I can't remember shit. So if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist. And if it is in the calendar, it needs to happen then. This episode's brought to you in part by the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. If you like the kind of content that we put out, why not check out That's a Thing? It's a sometimes belated, already outdated guide to your teens, tweens, and everything under 20. Elizabeth teensplains her media to her mom, Karen. In the latest episode, it's part 2 of their examination of YouTube. Elizabeth zooms out and zooms back in again on what's wrong with her generation's main source of information and entertainment, and why they'll keep watching anyway. You can check that out and a bunch of other great podcasts at albertapodcastnetwork.com. Alrighty, so first tidbit is, according to the New York Times, Facebook is selling even more of your personal information than we thought.
Of course.
Yeah, so not only did they give companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and Sony access to data on all of your friends, regardless of whether or not you let them have that information, they also gave Netflix and Spotify the ability to read your private messages.
Interesting.
So that's cool, and why I don't use Facebook. It's a garbage service for garbage people that's just making Zuckerberg a ton of money selling everything they know about you, which is a lot. And the FCC in the United States has reclassified text messages as an information service instead of a telecom service. Now you might be asking, why do I care? What does this mean? Well, they basically just repealed net neutrality for your text messages. Masking it as a way to allow telecom companies to block spam texts, it also dismantles protective regulations and gives them the ability to censor or favor speech as they choose, potentially blocking or even editing your text messages before they're received if they feel like it. Which is insane that this was allowed to go through. Because it's a communication device, but they're saying like, oh no, it's an information service like email. But they're not allowed to filter or edit your emails before they reach a recipient. So why does Telecom get to do this for SMS? Because the FCC and Ajit Pai.
Yep.
And that dude is making a ton of money from Verizon, just like repealing all the protective regulations and letting Telecom do whatever they want.
The FCC can only do so much. Not FCC. Who's the Free the Internet guys?
Oh,
Open Media's Canada.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but they're like a private organization. They can only do so much.
Yep. Well, and the only thing we can hope for up in Canada is that legislation to the north doesn't start following what they're doing in the US. Because it's bonkers that they have that kind of control over your communications. So SMS is not safe anymore. If you want to talk to your friends, you got to use like Discord or Telegram or Signal, something that actually encrypts your stuff. You can't even trust your cell phone carrier anymore. Anyway, after all that outrage and a little bit of a shorter episode this week, just want to thank everybody for listening. If you enjoy the stuff, always appreciate any ratings or reviews wherever you're listening. Helps a lot with visibility and just gets us into more ears.
And if you want to tell us directly, we have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Gmail. We're at PS2J Show, all there.
Mm-hmm.
And then anywhere there, or even on a link on these blog posts on our website, you can find our Discord. Like, message us on a platform and we'll invite you to Discord.
Definitely.
It's great. Share memes, talk about stuff. If you're on our Patreon, we have a Patreon chat there.
Mm-hmm. Secret information.
And we also restructured our Patreon, like I talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's just the one tier, so we can start getting people.
Yeah, and let us know what you're looking for from the Patreon, because we want to give you rewards that you want. So once we know that, we can do that.
Exactly.
And as always, a big thank you to the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ETB, without whom a lot of what we do would not be possible. You can check out a bunch of really cool podcasts all in the network at albertapodcastnetwork.com.
And also Kevin MacLeod, whose music I use for all these episodes. He's the soundtrack to the internet and can be found at incomptech.com.
Awesome. So with that, we're on to recommendations. Josh, what do you have for us? First recommendation of the year.
I have the recommendation that I'm not going to be doing recommendations and I'm going to have this game.
Right! You said that. I forgot about that already. See, this is why I have a calendar. Can't remember shit.
So why don't you drop a hot recommendation on us?
Cool. My recommendation is actually for door frame pull-up bars. Because I found one for cheap during the month of December, set it up, and just every time I walk past it, I do some chin-ups, and I've been able to do more as time goes on, and I think it's just really good. Like, the best exercise equipment is the stuff that you'll use. It doesn't matter looking for like the best workout, looking for the smoothest thing. It's just something that you'll use on a semi-regular basis, something you want to use. And for me...
I was just going to say, I've been playing Fallout 76 while sitting on an exercise ball, bouncing around.
Exactly. It's just, if it's something you'll use, then it's the best workout possible. Doesn't matter if it's in like the newspaper or the fancy 7-minute workout or something. You just got to be something you use. I will say, depending on the bar you get, if you're doing the whole door frame shenanigans, the trim around your door, if it's overly fancy, could take a ding or two, like mine may or may not have. But a little bit of paint, that'll clean right up when I move out. So something to be aware of there. But yeah, I think it's been really good.
All right, for this year's first bad descriptions of things.
Ooh.
Alan, you're welcome to guess after, but we don't want to, if you nail it, I don't want you to spoil it on this episode in case other people are left guessing.
Okay.
Let's get a voice acting voice. In a world. Is that good? In a world. In a world. After his girlfriend is abducted by the stubborn antagonist, Tradesmen is forced to pursue through a dangerous construction site. More details on our Patreon.
Huh. Yeah, I got nothing.
Great. We'll post that later, and then people have till next Thursday to get stuff into us. Awesome. And we'll talk about it on the episode.
Well, as always, thank you all very much for listening.
And thanks for pressing start.
You're going to say the answer, and it's going to be blindingly obvious. I feel
it
like.
Will be. I'm trying to... That's what's so great about this. I specifically said stubborn antagonist.
The fuck? Stubborn antagonist in a construction site? My brain wants to jump to like the Death Star 2 or something, but no, that doesn't make any sense.